What up, Instagram and YouTube? It's your boy Salty Redcorn, and I'm back with an ill-prepared knife comparison video. I just want to say thank you very much to My Bad Adventures and my boy Shield Arms. If you're not checking them out, you're sleeping under a rock, go check them out. My Bad Adventures on YouTube, and go check out Shield Arms on Instagram. I've shouted these dudes out before, but they're awesome dudes, and they really helped me out a lot. All right. So I'm going to be comparing the Hinderer XM18 no choil skinny slicer with the zero tolerance 0562 carbon fiber. Okay, these knives are almost exactly the same, some very small differences, and we're going to go over those right now. All right, and I'm going to tell you which one that I think is better in the end. A little pros and cons, whatever. All right. So first of all, the ZT is in 20 CV, which I like. The Hinderer is in M390, which I also like. The blade profiles are almost exactly the same. Very slight differences, but nothing worth noting, right? Second of all, the handle scales are exactly the same for the most part, okay? You have the same exact shape on both of these knives. This one runs on phosphor bronze, and the action is what you'd expect. It's very smooth. This one has a tri-way bearing system, so you can run bearings, nylon washers, or phosphor bronze, okay? And this one happens to be running on bearings. The action is like crazy, super smooth, which is to be expected from a Hinderer. Let's talk about flipper tabs. All right, the Hinderer flipper tab is pointy, a little obtrusive. The ZT flipper tab is smooth and nice. I'm going to give that to the ZT. I like the ZT flipper tab much better. As far as pocket clip goes, I am also going to give that to the ZT. The ZT has a titanium deep carry pocket clip, which I like a lot more than this non-deep carry clip on the Hinderer. Looking at these knives side by side, the Hinderer is ever so slightly thinner. You really wouldn't notice it unless you had a pair of calipers out, in my opinion. The ZT is a little bit more heavy, which is fine with me. The Hinderer is very light and nice to hold. It's got a very lightweight feeling for the size of the knife it is. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to the Hinderer. I also like the Hinderer's hardware better, okay? It's got torque screws, and it's got what seems to be their, proprietary flathead pivot. I like the flathead pivot idea, okay? The ZT has Torx, and it's got more of them, which I like the Hinderer better because it has less screws. But you could really argue that because the fourth screw on the handle on the ZT doubles as the pocket clip screw, whereas the Hinderer has 2 extra pocket clip screws. So, apples and bananas. That's the pivot on the ZT. Right? It's a fancy Torx. Very cool. They both have really nice lock bar relief cuts. Very similar. And I like them both. All right, so another thing I want to talk about is these external stop pins / thumb studs. All right, I find the ZT one very easy to use, while on the Hinderer, I find it not so easy to deploy. I think it's very unnatural, the way that it forces you to put your hands on the lock bar, and even with your fingers off the lock bar and say on the clip, I cannot even open it unless I flip it. All right, flick it rather. So I'm going to give that to the ZT. I think that the ZT's got a way better setup as far as the stop pins go. Much easier to use. Like I said, man, it's crazy. But anyhow, let's talk about the flipper tabs and the flipper action. All right, we talked about how the flipper tabs, and I like this one a little bit better. But let's see. So that's nice. The detent's a little bit weak on that. You may be able to adjust it somehow. The detent on the Hinderer is much, much better. Okay, it really is. So let's talk about feeling in hand. They both feel really, really good in hand. I like the G10 scale on the Hinderer better than I like the carbon fiber scale on the ZT. Okay. Overall, these are both really, really good knives, made by both American makers. You know, this one's obviously designed by Rick Hinderer, so you're not going to lose. Here's kind of my final thought on the whole thing. So if it were up to me and I had to purchase one of these knives to use, right, I am going to choose the zero tolerance for a couple of reasons. I'll lay them out. We just talked about. The flipper tab is better in my opinion. The pocket clip is better in my opinion. The price is better in my opinion. This is a $200 knife versus this, which is around $450 and up, depending on the variation that you want. Also, I like the fact that this is just a little bit heavier. You know, that might, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, why? Well, I just like it feels a little bit more substantial in hand. And I like that as a hard use knife, right? And that's what I would consider both of these are hard use knives, okay? So, you know, I know a lot of you guys are going to be upset with me for this Hinderer review, but you know, I just got to keep it real, and I have to be 100% honest on my thoughts, and those are my thoughts. I'm just keeping it real. I got to say it how I feel, all right? I think that the ZT is a much better value, okay? You're getting the same materials minus the bearing system for half the price, okay? And, you know, that's really on you and your collection. Everybody collects differently. Everybody values things differently. But for these materials, and I like 20 CV better than I like M390. I know they're the exact same thing, but this one's made here in America. And I like to support American companies whenever I can, right? I know these are both American companies, but 20 CV on the steel makes this one just a little bit more American than this one, in my opinion. All right, guys, so I'm going to let you get some final looks at these. I know the sun's kind of bright right now, and I might not be getting the best view on the camera, but you can get the idea. All right. So if you like this kind of review, smash that like button. Tell your boy Salty Redcorn what he's doing right and what he's doing wrong. What do you want to see? Do you guys want to pick my brain a little bit deeper on this comparison? Because I could go even in more detail on some of the reasons why I want to choose the ZT over the Hinderer. Let me know in the comments and we can get that figured out, all right? So smash this like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, tell your friends about Salty Redcorn and his crummy knife reviews. And I'm out for now, guys. I love you. Thank you very much.